Grab your M1s and Car 98Ks. Thanks to G&G and Milsim West, Airsoft is going back to World War II with 1945, an all-fronts World War II Airsoft event coming this December. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the effect that this event could possibly have on the industry, at least here in the US, for not only games, but for Airsoft guns themselves, and see how big this event could shake up our industry. What's up, Airsofters? My name is Lane, and welcome to the BB Warrior. We're here to help you have a better time both on and off the airsofting field. And if you enjoy videos like this, I'd love to have you join our community by hitting the subscribe button down below. And while you're at that, it only takes a second. Make sure to hit the bell icon next to it to stay updated for when we post new videos every Tuesday and Friday here on the channel. Now, this is Milsim West's first forte into the World War II era of events. If you're unfamiliar with Milsim West somehow, Milsim West is a very, very hardcore and very physically demanding event that you don't find from any other event hoster here in the US. It is a 40-hour non-stop game, and it really appeals to the hardcore Milsim player. I think it's very interesting that they're doing the World War II event, and in the fact that they're doing it in more of a casual game. And what I mean by that is, one, it's a whole lot cheaper. The early registration for this game is only $50. It's $100 cheaper than any other Milsim West event. And after the pre-registration has ended and moves over to full registration, it's only $65. So it's only a $15 increase. And again, because this is more of a casual game, which I personally suspect is to draw more players to the event, because World War II Airsoft is such a small niche in the airsofting industry, there is not going to be a 40-hour non-stop gameplay like at a typical Milsim West event. At night, you have three options. You can either go to sleep in a hotel, which you can't do at any other Milsim West game. You can sleep in a period correct tent system. So for the Allies and the Axis, you're each going to have two separate camps. I think it'll be very interesting to see how many people go this route, because there aren't a lot of people who do World War II kits and on top of that have a correct sleep system for World War II. So that'll be kind of interesting to see. But on top of that, there will also be a modern camp as well for those of you who want to be farb in how you sleep and snuggle up with your whoopee at night. But I think it'll be very interesting to see how Milsim West approaches this more casual game. From what they've said, there will be less of a presence of cadre, and the rules will be different from a standard Milsim West event. I think that personally, I have no doubt in my mind that this will be a great event. Milsim West is known for their quality of their events, and hosting a less in-depth and non-40-hour game, I think it's just going to be a piece of cake for them. This is going to be a fantastic game to get people into World War II Airsoft. And again, for those of you who want to get into World War II Airsoft and have never done it before, I'll leave some links down in the description below where you can pick up both Allied and Axis kit if you want to do this event. And because it is an all-fronts event, it's not just going to be one faction against another faction. It's going to be Axis versus Allies. So you can do American, German, English, Italian, Russian, Japanese, Canadian. Any country that fought in this war, you can be on and do a kit for this event. And because this is a Milsim West event, I would expect that they are not looking for people to be incorrect at this event. So don't show up with your M14 or your AK and say it's close enough, because they'll probably reject you at the gate. And I think that it was very, very smart for them to partner up with G&G for this event, because G&G makes really, really high quality World War II airsofting guns. I know that it really isn't in high demand nowadays for World War II airsoft guns, but G&G makes some really, really nice guns. And they don't just make like the submachine guns that a lot of companies make, because you can just throw a V2 or a V3 gearbox in. G&G makes like full-sized M1s and Car 98Ks, I believe. And I think it'll be very, very interesting to see how much of a role that plays and how differently this event is going to play, because obviously in World War II, a lot of countries did not use semi or fully automatic rifles. You had rifles like, again, the Gewehr 98 or the Karabiner 98. You had the Lee Enfield, the Mosin Nagant, the Springfield 1903. So I think it'll be or the Arasakas. I think it'll be very, very interesting to see how this game plays out differently depending on what players are bringing out, because you don't have fully automatic. So it'll be interesting to see if there's a lot more people with bolt action guns there, because it is more period correct. There aren't a lot of companies making World War II bolt actions. I know there's a company that makes the Mosin Nagant. I believe King Arms does actually. But like, good luck trying to find an Airsoft Lee Enfield or an Arasaka or I believe there are some companies that will make 98Ks, but I am not 100% sure on that. And because this is a Milsim West event, there will be blank fire. Again, I'm not sure how many people are going to do it, because good luck trying to find some of the Axis power guns in blank fire, because if I remember correctly, I could be wrong, I don't believe Milsim West will allow you to do a bolt action gun in blank fire. That might change for this event, or I could be completely wrong. I will leave a note down in the description if I am wrong about this. If one of you guys can correct me on that, that'd be fantastic. But I think that this event will be interesting to see how it changes things here in the US, because at the moment there really isn't anything except for modern games. There are some very small like reenactment events that'll do like Civil War and World War II, but nothing that's geared directly towards airsoft. And I think this will be very interesting to see how this changes up opinions, because Milsim West is such a big name in the US Milsim market. I think it'll be very interesting to see just how this changes, if anyone else is going to try different period games. And it doesn't just have to be World War II, because I know like there's the Rolling Thunder games down in Texas, I believe. They do a Vietnam style game. So I think it'll be very interesting to see if we start seeing other periods and other conflicts. I don't think that there's too many to choose from, because we can't go super far back. Like we can't do like a World War I game or a Civil War game, because no one makes those models of airsoft guns, obviously. But I think it'll be interesting to see, or if people just do conflicts that the US wasn't involved in. I know up here in the Northeast there are a couple of like what if Cold War games where it's like Soviet era or Afghan era Soviet kits versus that era US kits. But I think it'll be very, very interesting to see how this changes up games here in the US. But at the same time, I want to see if more companies are going to be producing World War II or any other old style of airsoft guns, because I mean, like I said, there aren't very many companies doing it, and the people that do only make the submachine guns, and there's a few kind of like rare collector's items that are in the bolt action category. I know at SHOT Show, I believe it was this year at SHOT Show, KWA kind of teased a gas blowback Thompson and a gas blowback MP40, but it'll be very, very interesting to see how this changes up games here in the US. And I want to know what you guys think about this event. One, are you very interested in it and you want to go? Or two, does this just not interest you at all? Because building a whole nother kit, especially with older gear, can get kind of pricey to do. And I want to know what you guys think this is going to lead to change in the airsofting industry. Is this going to cause more period games, doing older games? Or do you think people are just going to ignore it and not follow through with it, and things are just going to stay the same way that they are? Make sure to let me know down in the comments below. I'd love to hear what you guys think. But that is going to do it for this video. Thank you so much for staying here until the end. Again, if this was your first time here on the channel, I'd love to have you join our channel by hitting the subscribe button down below and joining our community. While you're at it, again, it only takes a second. Hit that bell icon next to it to get updates when we post new videos every Tuesday and Friday here on the channel. If you want to see more of the BB Warrior, make sure to check us out on social media for different content than what we post here on YouTube. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and each one of those does a little bit different content than the other. But thank you guys very much for watching. This has been Lane talking about Milsim West and G&G's 1945 and how I personally think it could change the airsofting industry. I will see you all next time.